Welcome to the Mickey Updates Podcast, starring Ed, Rob, Chris, and Travis. You've arrived at your destination for the latest happenings in Orlando news and reviews. There's much to learn about this beautiful global city, and there are four guys willing to explain their expertise to give you this knowledge from the world-famous Walt Disney World to the wonderful SeaWorld. The Mickey Updates Podcast has your dose of the latest goings-on in the Central Florida region. Now let's welcome the four guys featured on this podcast, Ed, Chris, Travis, and Rob.
Alrighty, what's going on? What's happening out there, everyone who is listening to our show live on YouTube and Google Plus and iTunes? Not live on iTunes, but you know what I mean. Thanks for joining us this week on the Mickey Updates Podcast here. We are so glad to have you guys with us, and it should be a great show. We had a great time at Busch Gardens this weekend. We're going to talk about that later, and we got some news for you, and we got some stuff coming up, too, that should be pretty fun and interesting and a little sad at the same time, but we will get to that in a little bit. But first, we want to thank our sponsor real fast. We want to thank Scoot Orlando. I have a great tip for your next Disney World trip. If you have someone who needs help getting around, check out these scooters from Scooter Vacations. They have 6 models to choose from, and everything from those that fit in a car trunk to specialty luxury models for using on boats, buses, and monorails. They are the only company with 24-hour customer service. Contact Scooter Vacations by clicking on their logo in the show notes or call them at 1-855-WDW-SCOOT. That's 1-855-WDW-SCOOT. Or on the web at scootorlando.com. That's SCOOT, Orlando.com. That's Scoot Orlando. Check out them for all your scooter needs for your next Orlando vacation. A lot cheaper than the parks, I'm sure. And I've seen their scooters. They are a lot nicer. Not that the ECVs aren't nice, but these are a lot nicer.
Like
luxury models.
Like Ferraris.
And I forgot to mention our third member of the show this week because Chris could not be here, and Travis, we're trying to get him on the show. New member Travis. We need a third member, and I thought it only fitting that we get the one and only Star-Lord. And he will chime in every now and then with a line. Let's hear from him right now. What do you have to say about that, Star-Lord?
Funny, Rocket.
There you go. He chimed in, and he will be chiming in throughout the show with little bits of information, and it'll be funny. I'm sure eventually something will be funny. He'll say something funny eventually, right? All right, we got lots of stuff to talk about this week. I want to get started off with some stuff at Epcot. The Epcot After Hours Wind Down event has been extended from September 15th until November 9th, 2014, running until the end of Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. Epcot After Hours Wind Down allows guests to make reservations after illuminations at one of the 4 lounges around World Showcase where you can relax over a flight of beverages and a light snack. Participating locations are La Cava del Tequila, Mexico Pavilion, Rose and Crown Pub and Dining Room, and the United Kingdom Pavilion, Spice Road Table, Morocco Pavilion, Tutto Gusto Wine Cellar, one of my favorites, actually, and Tequila. The Italy Pavilion. Please note that the Rose and Crown will be unavailable on Thursday, September 23rd through November 6th due to the Epcot Food and Wine Live Nights live event. So, and the prices for that are $35 per person plus tax and gratuity. And I don't know if I talked about this last week, but I will now. Late Night Live is coming to Epcot. Late Night Live Street Party in Epcot. International Food and Wine Festival Premium Package will both debut at the 2014 Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, which will run September 19th through November 10th, 2014. Late Night Live Street Party will run 9:45 to 1 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday during the festival between United Kingdom Pavilion and the World Showcase Plaza. The event will include 6 food and beverage tastings from select marketplaces, live music, entertainment, and a DJ. Price is $79 plus tax. Party is subject to capacity. Admission to Epcot is not required after 9 p.m. for guests who have purchased this event. If guests wishes to visit Epcot before 9, valid parking admission is required. So there you go. $79, and you can get in the park and party for a few hours. you don't have a pass. That's actually pretty cool. The Food and Wine Festival Premium Package is only available to guests staying at a Walt Disney World Resort or the Swan, Dolphin, and Golden Oaks hotels. This package will be offered Monday through Thursday from noon to 8 p.m., September 22nd through November 6th, and includes an in-room gift bag with wine for guests 21 and over, festival wine glass, truffle, and credentials for the 10 premium package areas around World Showcase. Guests can order items from the marketplaces and have them delivered in the VIP area without waiting in line. In addition, guests will receive a Epcot International Food and Wine Festival themed Magic Band, a $50 Disney gift card, and admission to Late Night Live's street party on a Tuesday or Thursday night. Wow, that is some package. Price is $199 per person plus tax plus Epcot admission. So if you're going to stay there, you can do this package, and it's actually a pretty good deal. $50 is a lot of food at the Food and Wine Fest. That's at least probably like 10 booths if you do that correctly. 10 booths. 10 if you just get food. If you get food and wine, then it's like 5 booths. But still, it's a good, substantial amount of money to have at the booths, and they bring the food to you. That's a pretty sweet little deal right there. And the Late Night Live should be a lot of fun as well. It's looking like it's going to be a fun event this year, so definitely check that out. Disney Cast, Disney Cast approved contract to raise minimum start rates to $9 this month, $10 in 2016. Walt Disney World cast members, represented by the Service Trade Council Union, have ratified a new 5.5-year agreement that increases non-tipped minimum start rates for more than 20,000 full-time STCU represented cast to $9 per hour effective this month. The new rate will be retroactive to March 30th based on current job classification and new rate of pay, and will increase to $10 per hour in July 2016. In April, the company proposed the increases and worked closely with the union to reach an agreement. We are proud we are able to continue to provide our cast an industry-leading employment package, including a significant wage increase that reflects the important role they play to our guests, said George Kalogridis, president of Walt Disney World. The company's agreement with FCCU, the largest union at the resort, is effective through September 2019. For more information, visit wdwnegotiations.com. Ears to You funds benefit community. Sorry about that. Ears to You Ears to You funds benefit community. Whether mentoring a student robotics team, organizing donations at a food bank, or building playgrounds for cast, Disney cast members volunteered hundreds of thousands of hours in the community last year. In recognition of their service, Disney is donating more than $1 million in Ears to You grants to 500 plus Central Florida nonprofit served by Disney volunteers. Disney also celebrated more than 800 cast members who earned the President's Volunteer Service Award, which recognizes Americans who donate more than 100 hours of annual community service. By opening their hearts and devoting their time to local community groups, Disney volunteers make Central Florida an even better place to call home, said Nancy Tedesco, Director of Corporate Citizenship for Walt Disney World. Disney launched its military resource group, engaging thousands of veterans who were ranked among its cast members. Walt Disney World Resort launched a new diversity resource group that adds a perspective to the Disney cast and guest experience. Building on the company's long-standing support for America's armed forces, Salute is Disney's 7th diversity resource group. The groups encourage cast members to cultivate and share ideas that promote diversity and inclusion within the company's culture. By sharing the unique viewpoints and contributions of our diverse communities, these groups provide a vital resource to the company and our cast members, said Salute Executive Co-Champion Pat Garrity, Vice President of Safety, Security, Environmental Policy, and Compliance at Disney Cruise Line. So, there you go there on that. As far as Universal news, Universal is going to be getting Aliens vs. Predator. Aliens vs. Predator Scare House is coming. It was announced just the other day that Aliens vs. Predator is coming to the theme park there, and it should be a good house. Aliens vs. Predator is a great movie, great franchise, so it should be interesting. Go ahead, I didn't hear you.
The great franchise is. Because there are two, really.
Yeah.
If they combine them when they do one movie.
Yeah. So it should be interesting to see what they do with that. It should be awesome stuff there, and I can't wait. Hallow Scream has announced their new house coming this year. Deadfall is coming back this year. Or, excuse me, not coming back, is a new house this year at Hallow Scream, and guests get to vote on key elements of the new haunted house on their Facebook poll. So look up Hallow Scream on Facebook, and you can actually vote on elements for the house, which is actually really cool. It should be interesting to see. So, no one's done this before. No one's allowed the guests to vote on what they want. So that's pretty cool. I like that idea.
Vote on the rainbow.
Yeah.
And
So,
the unicorn and the...
Oh my gosh. No unicorn.
That horn can pierce someone. That could be pretty scary.
All right, that's going to do it for the news for this week. And pack your bags and head to Disney. Leave all the playing to the experts at Unforgettable Destinations. Staff are available to share their love for Disney while you sit back and relax. Imagine a stress-free vacation from the planning process until you return home. Unforgettable Destinations helps you reserve your package, prepare a park touring plan, make dining reservations, special insider tips, and so much more. Call toll-free at 1-800-450-8123. That's 1-800-450-8123, or visit unforgettabledestinations.com. Be sure to check out all of the Disney destinations, including the popular Disney Cruise Line vacations, at their website. So make sure you check them out. And I wanted to say, too, I didn't mention this in the news, but I have seen photos of this, and I'll try to go there this weekend and get it. But they repainted the People Mover, and it's orange now. Not the cars, but just the building. It's orange. It looks very strange. It doesn't look like it's. I don't know what the deal is. They are like experimenting with new color schemes, like all over. They did the same thing at Epcot with the Communicore buildings, and they look. I'm sorry, but the Communicore buildings are god awful.
Yeah.
They just look just god awful. What do you think, Star-Lord? Do you have any say on that?
I don't learn. It's one of my issues.
Okay, and there you go.
Yeah, I think he was the one who painted.
He must have been the one who painted. Well, there you go. All right, so I'm going to send it over to Ed with the weather. So go ahead, Ed. Take it away.
All right, starting with August 8th, Friday, August 8th. It's a chance of thunderstorm with a low of 75 and a high of 94. And on Saturday, chance of thunderstorm with a low of 75 and a high of 93. And on Sunday, chance of thunderstorm, low of 75 and a high of 93. Then on Monday, clear with a low of 75 and a high of 94. As far as rumors, first one we'll start at Epcot is at 9/28 is apparently going to be
the closing
day
date for the attraction.
Yes.
But no one knows if that's frozen or what.
Yes, no one knows yet if it's frozen or maelstrom.
Everyone is. I hope to God. Well, here's what I've heard. I've heard a couple of things. I've heard that basically Disney is trying to extort money from the Norwegian people, and has said you can pay us $9 million because they don't want it to be frozen. And they said you can pay us $9 million and it won't be frozen, and we'll make it nice and we'll upgrade it, or it'll be frozen. That's what I've heard. Now, whether or not they're willing to pay to have that fixed, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that they would do something or try to work out something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess when it comes down to it, unless they're paying for it, they have no rights. So Disney can really do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
They can't go in there and say, remove our pavilion. We don't want it here anymore. They can't do it. But I mean, technically, the real Frozen story does not take place in Norway.
Nope.
So that's why the Norwegian people things like that, I think that just cheapens the World Showcase. It's what's nice about World Showcase to me is the fact that you can feel like you're traveling throughout the world, just from walking around there. You get a sample of each country by just walking around, and I think that World Showcase does a really, really, really good job of that. I think, and I'll compare it to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which does sort of a similar thing because they have sort of like a France and European theme going on, and they try to do sort of like a World Showcase tour thing, and it's just not as good as Epcot. But I mean, Epcot does a really good job of that, and I would hate to see them get rid of that. Although I do agree that the attraction itself does need an upgrade. I mean, it needs a refurbishment bad. It needs I don't know necessarily an upgrade is the right word. I mean, maybe a few things could change, but I don't think it needs an overall upgrade. I think the movie at the end of the ride needs a huge upgrade. That they could change, and that would make a world of difference. Because everything in the ride itself is not, I mean, it's more in the history of Norway, trolls and Vikings and stuff like that, which would still fit if they updated it and kind of fixed it and did all that stuff. I think it could still work. But I do think that the movie needs to be updated. That's been in there since the 80s. So, But the $9 million thing, I mean, it sounds like something they could propose to them and say, hey, look, you don't want us to change it, pay $9 million. And there's a strong possibility that they might pay it. So you never know. I mean, I would hope that they would. I mean that's their country, that's their culture. I mean, it depends on whether or not they want to be seen as the frozen country. And apparently the people of Norway don't want to be seen as the frozen country. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if they don't change that, then people are just going to see it as the frozen country. I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else?
Yes, there are 3 permits, and this is universal. 3 permits just surfaced today. One of them is for King Kong. The other one is for Wondersea, and the third one is for a new hotel.
What is Wonders? How do you know that it's for King Kong?
Well, this is what people tell me. This is the sources. They actually looked and they checked the permit.
And it actually says King Kong on it?
It doesn't say King Kong, but based on the drawings, most logically, it's going.
But so it's not. So you can't say that it's King Kong. You can't say that because it doesn't say King Kong on the paper. That's what I'm trying to get at. You're preaching to me like it's fact, but it's not. It could be anything. It's just the drawings make it look like it's still a rumor.
No, yes, and
the same with Wondersea. Yeah. I mean, did they actually see water slides on the drawings?
No, yes, there's there as water slides. It's the Wondersea one is actually an island.
Okay. I don't know that one, but okay. Does it have water slides on it though?
Yes.
Then it could. Well, that could be anything, but it could be. I mean, a water attraction.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I mean Wondersea, I mean what? Now, when I say those names, folks, I do mean like it's going to go in that. Keep in mind, I do mean those areas.
But no one knows what.
Yes, I mean.
No one knows what those areas are.
Okay. The King Kong area over by Jurassic Park.
And what is What is Wondersea? It's the first I've heard of Wondersea. What is that?
That's their new water park there. Wondersea is the...
Well, you never said the name. You just said there was going to be a water park.
Okay, I swear...
To me, you didn't tell me that.
Okay. Well, I swear I thought I said the name, and I didn't know he didn't know that, but that's the water park that's going supposedly behind Cabana Bay. And then, behind... Remember?
The third hotel thing I heard was not true. I thought that was an expansion on the Pacific Royale, or the Lowe's Royal Pacific, to add a convention center.
Now, I haven't heard much on this hotel one.
That's what I heard too.
Is the third permit was filed for hotel related?
Yeah. Yeah. I heard that they're extending the. I heard that the one.
That could be it.
The one that I heard for the hotel, because I heard about that one. I heard specifically that when people analyzed that and looked at it, that it was, it looked like it was going to be for a convention center for Royal Pacific.
And that'd be good.
Because it was in that area.
They don't have a convention center, but that would be good.
Yeah. So that's what I heard. Yeah. Now the Wonder Seed thing, I never heard that, but the King Kong thing, I mean, I don't think you can really say anything. Nothing's final till it's final.
No.
But you know, it's a good chance.
The reason I say King Kong is it's added to the, King Kong area of rumors. That's
the only reason I say it like that is I have to admit that I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen it. Yesterday during the conference call at Disney, Iger announced that there was going to be more
Star Wars
in the parks, but he didn't say anything other than that.
No.
And people took it and ran with it, and they said, "Oh, and I think he did give a time frame like a year or something."
Yeah,
so people are saying 2015, and now there's just articles popping up everywhere. I've seen like 20 of them that say Star Wars theme park is coming, and there was one that had a map of a Star Wars theme park, and there was one that had Star Wars Land and all this other stuff, and none of that was said.
Of course, on the theme park thing, it seems like it's always the thing. They did that with Harry Potter, the new Harry Potter, and they did that with the Simpsons area.
Yeah, but they've said said nothing. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is, if it's a rumor, count it as a rumor. Mm-hmm. Don't say that it's King Kong if you don't know 100% it's King Kong. Don't say it's going to be a theme park if you don't know it's a theme. I mean, I must have seen like 20. It's at this point, it's just ridiculous. I mean, all he said was there's more stuff coming. He didn't say what. He didn't say where. He didn't say anything else. I mean, just keep it as a rumor until it actually happens. Because if you say land and you preach and preach and preach that it's going to be a theme park, and it never happens, then
no. On that,
I'm not talking about you. No, I'm just talking about in general.
And on the Star Wars thing, I forgot about. Thank you for reminding me. On the Star Wars thing, before they even announcement, it's probably going to be new Star Wars stuff. We don't know a lot about the public doesn't know a lot about the new Star Wars. I think, and this is just a guess, pretty much once we start hearing, I guess, some of the worlds from the new Star Wars, give it maybe a month or two after that, then you'll probably start hearing way more announcements for Star Wars Land, if it's in Star Wars Land.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you that it's probably gonna happen. There's probably gonna be I mean, at this point, it's definitely gonna happen. I don't want to say definitely because it's still a rumor, but there's a really good chance I think that's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. But what is gonna actually happen? Nobody knows. I mean, nobody knows what they're going to do. Is it gonna be a theme park? Is it gonna be a land? Is it gonna be a single attraction? Is it gonna be multiple attractions? No one knows what it's going to be, and don't speculate unless you really know exactly what it is. That's my only thing. So, what do you think about that, Star-Lord? My guest host just fell over.
No.
Let's see what he thinks about it. Okay.
Put the guns down and step away from the tree and raccoon.
Well, that's what he says. Put the guns down. That's how he feels about it.
All right.
Step away from the trees and the raccoon. The tree and the raccoon. He's the best guest host ever. Alrighty then. If you don't already know, Star-Lord is from Guardians of the Galaxy. It just came out. Record box office. One of the best Marvel films I've ever seen in my life. Or actually, I should take that back. The best Marvel film I've seen in my life. Hands down. The best. If you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet, please, please, please go see Guardians of the Galaxy. You will not be disappointed at all. So we want to thank our sponsor for the weather and Twitter segment there. We want to thank MapleLeafTickets.com. They've been providing discount Orlando area attraction tickets for more than 30 years. Visit them today at MapleLeafTickets.com or call 1-800-841-2837. That's 1-800-841-2837. So, moving on from that, I want to talk about. I want to go into look at our day the other day, and I want to talk about our recent trip. We actually did two things. We started off the day the other day with breakfast at Trails Inn, which I haven't done in a little bit, but it was amazing as always. Trails End is just so good, and the breakfast is so good. I mean, eggs Benedict on top of biscuits, and they had a new dish, French toast bread pudding, which was out of this world good. It was so freaking delicious. I could just eat that every day for breakfast and be a happy camper. It was that good. But I mean, the breakfast was fantastic. I will say I think the buffet has gotten a little bit shorter. They used to have more options for like the salmon and stuff, like toppings for that, and then there was like a little more stuff out there in the buffet, but they cut back just a hair. But it's still really good. It's worth the price of admission, hands down. It's all you can eat. I can't complain. Fantastic cornbread muffins, you name it, they've got it all. It's all so good. So definitely worth going and checking out the buffet there. It's really good stuff. After we did the buffet there, we kind of walked around Fort Wilderness for a while and back to the car. And then we went to Busch Gardens that day. And we had an interesting day at Busch Gardens. A little bit of an issue with the ticketing at Busch Gardens, but we got that straightened out. Please let it be known that if you are going, I was trying to. I'll tell you the story. I usually don't like to gripe too much, but I'll tell you the story. I was my pass had expired, my year platinum pass, so they were getting me fixed so I could get into the park, and I got to the gate and they got me fixed. They gave me a price. I was like, this is fantastic. And I use PayPal, like debit card, to pay for things sometimes. And I had it on me and I was using it to pay. And the girl to swipe my card, and she said, I can't take it. The system won't take your card. It's showing up as prepaid or something like that. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, fine, and she swiped it like a few times and it just wouldn't go. So then I tried to do it online and it wouldn't go, and I was just like fed up, and I called the card company and they said it was a problem with their system and da-da-da-da, and I'm like, this is stupid. It's a debit MasterCard. You should take it. It's not prepaid. It's a PayPal debit MasterCard. So then I finally got fed up and I said, okay, here's what I'll do. And I ran over to I didn't have my other credit cards on me that day, so I ran over to CVS, which is across the street, and I bought a prepaid Amex card, which they sell there, the Swerve or something like that, and it was free. So I loaded the money on there that they needed for the pass, and I gave it to the girl. Or I did it online, bought the ticket online, and sure enough, it worked fine. And then I went to the gate and I got my ticket and I was in, and that was a prepaid. It specifically said prepaid on the thing, and it was a temporary credit card too that came in the pack because I just got it. So I don't know what happened. But it took like 2 hours between waiting in line and getting this and getting that for me to actually get in the park, and it was a little bit of an ordeal, but I figured it out and I got it fixed. And if I could have, I didn't even realize my pass had expired, because when I went online and checked my pass, it said my pass was still active. It said it was good, active, everything's fine, I'm good to go. So I see green light, I'm thinking, okay, let's go. And then I get there and find out, nope, can't get in. So it was it was a little bit of a trying afternoon, but they took care of me. I guess the girls took care of me, let me know the situation, what I could do. They couldn't do anything about the car, but they let me gave me the price to fix everything and do all that, and we got it all fixed, and it was it was fun, but it took a long time, but I got it fixed, and then I eventually got in the park, and the whole reason we went to the park that day was to catch the opening night Critters show, which is the new pet show that they have there at the Pantopia Theater, which is actually really interesting. It's sort of done in the style of like a old-timey vaudevillian like
Just
variety show. huge show. Was good, running around doing tricks and things like that, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I think Ed enjoyed it.
Yeah, the show was great. The first scene and the last scene were great. It was a tiny bit slow in the middle, but it was still good.
Yeah, but they did some of the tricks, and they showed you what the tricks the animals could do, and the animals warmed up to them, and they became more, and it was really cool. The intro was really funny, really comical intro. They did try to do some mime-ish type stand-up stuff, the sort of comedy to break up the pre-show there, do a little pre-show with like mime stuff, and that was interesting. It was all good. The producer came out and did a few things. It was good stuff. They showed you them trying to teach the animals some of the tricks, and they did good with that, and it was fun. I won't give away too much but I will say that at the beginning, because I want you to experience it yourself, but at the beginning of the show, it's really funny. There is some really funny stuff at the beginning of the show. It's hilarious. And the end of the show is great too. So it's just an awesome show. It's definitely worth checking out. And I will say this though, the show that we went to was packed, and I heard the show before that, which was we did like the 5:30 show, which was the last show, and I heard the show before that was packed as well. Now it was raining a little bit on the show before, but our show was full to the max. So make sure you get there like 20 minutes early to get a decent seat and to guarantee you're going to get in, because it was no guarantee that we were going to get in. And we got there like 30 minutes early or something. So, and it was already almost full by the time we got there. So definitely get there earlier. That's in the Pantopia Theater in Pantopia. We saw them testing, speaking of Pantopia, we saw them testing the Falcon's Fury. They weren't dropping it or anything. They had to go to the top and then it stopped and set up there for a long period of time. And then I don't know what happened, and they did nothing, and it just sat up there for a while and then eventually dropped. We didn't see it drop because it kept doing it while we weren't looking. We got to experience Summer Nights again at Busch Gardens. I like Summer Nights there too. We also got to go to the park that day and experience a lot of the rides and stuff too. We got to experience Pantopia again and got to go to Twisted Tails Pretzels. That's the first thing we did when we got in the park, actually, was go to Twisted Tails and buy some pretzels. And we got a Bacon Fury pretzel, which is always good. And right now, for pass holders, they're doing buy one, get one free 20-ounce sodas, fountain drinks. So that was pretty cool. So we got that. I really like what Busch is doing now, instant rewards for pass holders. Basically, you walk into the park, and there's some sort of instant thing that you get, and that's what it is. Like last month, it was, it was either June or July, you got the free Busch Bucks, and then now you have this deal with the free sodas. So it's actually a really good deal. They're doing it. They're doing a great job with that. It's actually really cool. So I did enjoy that. So we got that, and we walked around Pantopia and just looked at it some more, and it's a really nice land. I never one of the details that I missed before, on top of the Twisted Tails pretzel shop, it looks like a salted pretzel. And there's like little cubes of salt on the top there. I didn't notice that. That's a pretty cool little detail that I missed. But we had a great time in there. Rode the Scorpion once, and then we went over to. I specifically that I am a advocate of wearing a swimsuit to our some sort of wet clothes. To the theme parks, especially like Busch, because you have the Congo River Rapids, you have the Stanleyville Falls, and then you have the Flume ride. So, of course, doing that and it being a hot day, I decided to do the Congo River Rapids, which is always a fun ride. I got nice and wet on there. It was a good ride. That ride always has a long wait in the summer, of course, but it's a great ride. You get a great rapids. You fly around. It's just an excellent attraction to cool off on. And I did the Stanleyville Falls too, which was really fun. I like that ride. I think it's more fun if you have more people in the car with you, because you more weight in the vehicle. But it's still a fun attraction. Got to do SheiKra, which was always great. Love doing SheiKra, and especially at night. SheiKra is really great at night. We also got to experience the Summer Nights stuff again, and that was a lot of fun. Summer Nights. at Busch Gardens. Got to see Kinetics again, which the acrobatics in Kinetics are great. They do a great job on stage with the acrobatics there. The singing, I'm a little iffy on the singing, but the acrobatics is really good. But the fireworks are pretty good. It's always nice seeing fireworks at Busch Gardens. I mean, it's just cool having fireworks there. So that's really cool. It was kind of a short day, but we had a good time. We got in a lot of stuff quick. I mean, the lines weren't too terrible. I mean, this was on a Saturday, right? It was a Sunday. Sunday. It was on a Sunday. So it was a fun day after. We had a great time after having an issue at the gate there. But once we got in, we had a blast, and it was just fantastic. And we got to see everything, and it was good. So I enjoyed it, and I always enjoy Busch Gardens a lot. It's always a lot of fun. So definitely. So that's pretty much it for that stuff now. This coming up, I know this is like a really short show, and I apologize, but we will have more stuff next week, and we'll have Chris back, of course. Now, coming up this week, we are going to SeaWorld on Friday. We are saying goodbye to the Clyde and Seymour Takeover Pirate Island, I believe is the name of the show. And I believe we're saying goodbye to Clyde and Seymour Sea Lions tonight, too. So they are changing out the shows. I've heard that they're changing it to Clyde and Seymour Back to School, which should be opening soon and getting a little retheme for that. Like I said, they're not getting rid of the Sea Lion show. They're just changing it to something else. Which should be interesting to see what they do with that, and they're going to give a little, I guess, do a little media thing on Friday for Sea Lions or Clyde Seymour Pirate Island. It should be interesting to see. The only thing I hope that they do with the new show is that they bring back the mime, because the mime is awesome. I love the mime. The mime is the best part of the show.
The mime, the teacher.
Yeah, but it's always fun to see that. So that little comedy before the show there. But it'll be fun. We're going to spend the whole day there. We're probably going to do the food pass, so we'll be eating all day, and we'll stay for the summer nights and check out Sea Lions tonight, and then we'll do see the fireworks that evening, and it should be an awesome day. So follow us on our coverage of that on Friday. It should be great. We'll be there right as the park opens on Saturday to check out the first Clyde and Seymour show and talk to the trainers and such. So it should be pretty awesome. And I love the Sea Lions so much. They're just awesome creatures. So it'll be really cool to see them, and maybe on Friday we can feed the Sea Lions. Maybe we'll get Panda and go over there and feed him. We haven't fed him in a while. We could do that 3-pack deal where you pay 10 and you get the 3. I like that. That's what we'll do on Friday. So I think that's going to do it for this week's show, unless there's anything else you want to add, Ed.
Nope.
But we're definitely going to check out that coming up there. I don't know if you've seen also on V24 Radio, we have stuff coming up on there. The Villains Party is going to be streamed live on, the Villains Mix will be streamed live from Hollywood Studios at the Unleash the Villains Party. So that's really cool there on V24 Radio. And we'll have Chris to talk more about that next week too. So it should be awesome. But I think that's going to do it. So before we go, we want to thank our sponsors real fast. We want to thank Kingdom Strollers, who provides premium stroller and crib rentals delivered straight to your Disney or Orlando resort, hotel, or vacation home free of charge. You choose the time, delivery, and pickup, and they'll do the rest. It couldn't be easier. So book your Orlando stroller rental today. Visit their website at www.kingdomstrollers.com. That's kingdomstrollers.com. Or call or text them at 407-271-5301. That's 407-271-5301. The free MickeyUpdates.com smartphone application is now available to download for iPhone and Android devices. Using the app, you'll be able to read all the latest tweets, read all the latest news, read our tweets, check the weather, add refurbishment dates to your phone counter, listen to our podcast, and so much more, like V24 Radio. Listen right to the app. Download right now through the App Store and Google Play Store. Just search WDW News or Mickey Updates. And I think that's going to do it for this week's show. Let's see what the Star-Lord has to say before we go. Anything good?
Name's Peter Quill. Dude, chill out.
Okay, I will. Just let's hear. Can we get one more word from you, Star-Lord? I guess not. All right, then. That was perfect. You were the perfect guest, Star-Lord. Do you have anything to say about that? Being the perfect guest.
There's one other name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
Who?
Never Never heard of you.
Yeah, never heard of you, dude. All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a great week, and follow our coverage this weekend on Twitter, Instagram, Vine, everywhere else, as we are checking out SeaWorld. It should be a lot of fun. So there you go. All right, thanks to those who watched us live on Google+. Thank you guys for joining us this week. Sorry it was a late show. We will get back to Monday next week. So I apologize for being late this week. My laptop has been having issues, so we will get that back to normal there for you, and we will get everything fixed and get. There's some big things in the works. I'll just tell you that much. There's some big things in the work that I don't really want to talk about right now, but there's some big things in the work. We got some things coming up that I think are going to be awesome, not just for you guys, but for everyone that is into theme parks and stuff like that. So it should be pretty cool stuff. So there we go. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. See you next week.